Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you another movie review. This time we're going to be talking about the 2016 crime thriller, The Accountant. And I have it on DVD here, and I wish I would have bought the Blu-ray because this movie is pretty damn good. Of course, this movie was directed by Gavin O'Connor and stars Ben Affleck. A pretty loaded cast. You got Ben Affleck, Affleck and Kendrick, J.K. Simmons, John Lithgow, as well as even John Bernthal. I forgot to load some pictures to use in the video here, but I can still address the characters and actors, of course. But so a pretty stacked cast, and I bought this before watching it, which I've been doing kind of a lot lately with movies. But sometimes there are just movies I know I'm gonna like, and I'll probably be fine with having in my collection, and this is definitely one of them. But what I was expecting in this movie was like a solid sort of like a action film with some actors I enjoy watching quite a bit, and I got that. But I also got a movie that pulled me in a lot more than I expected, and a movie that sort of gave me a lot more to think about than I expected to, again. This movie went above and beyond what I thought it was going to be, really. Like I said, I was expecting like a solid action film, but I got a lot more out of it. There's a lot more care and thought put into the story and characters and sort of the intricacies, if I'm even saying a word right now. There's a lot of little intricate details is what I'm saying, and how they play the story out, and I really appreciated that part of it. I'm reading the back of it because it will probably do a better job of explaining to you the basis of the story than I will. So I'll have you look at the cover as I read the back of it. Mass servant Christian Wolf, Ben Affleck, is more comfortable with numbers than people, working as a freelance accountant for the world's most dangerous criminal organizations. With the Treasury Department's Crime Enforcement Division closing in, he takes on a legitimate client, a robotics company where a clerk has discovered a discrepancy involving millions of dollars. But as Christian uncooks the books and gets closer to the truth, it's the body count that starts to rise. And again, the description and like the quotes and the critics they have on here, action-infused thriller, Affleck's performance is action-packed. It just makes it sound so simple. And believe me, there is action in it. Don't get me wrong. It's I'll talk more about the action specifically in a couple minutes. But don't go into this movie expecting like a John Wick type of film or like an Equalizer. Although I think there's a little bit more well done qualities about Equalizer than John Wick, but what I'm saying is don't go into this one expecting like a straight up action film, because that's not what you're really getting. You're getting a sort of a crime thriller drama with action thrown into it at certain points. And that's not to say some people might find it boring or something, but it's really more about the characters and the story. And when there is action put into it, it does feel more meaningful, or it has a certain punch to it than it would if it was just doing that all the way through, I think. And Ben Affleck, he's an actor I've always liked quite a bit. I even like the Daredevil movie, okay? But he's an actor I liked quite a bit, before he was announced as Batman and stuff, and he's making a good Batman so far. I'm excited to see what he's going to do with the Solo movie. But he also makes really good, non-superhero films, too. He was great in Good Will Hunting. I loved him in, The Town. And he's just done, tons of stuff like that over the years. I could probably do quite a few movie reviews on just some of his work. And I hope to see Live by Night in theaters as well. And this is probably one of the most interesting roles I've seen him in a little while, I think. Christian Wolf, the character he plays, he's not your typical lead character. He's not your typical like your Jason Bourne or your just tough action guy character at all. On one hand, you don't really know if he's the best guy himself, but at the same time, he plays a really different lead character either way, because he's a character dealing with various mental issues since his childhood. We get some flashbacks to how he was raised by this military father. And that's all pretty well done. And he's a guy dealing with a severe case of autism as well as a couple other things. And he plays that, from what I understand, pretty well and pretty realistically. And so, like, he has, like, these weird, like, tics and, like, quirks, or ways to, like, either calm himself down or bring himself back up. Some people might find those scenes, like, a little bit awkward, but I think it's still pretty believable to what can go on in someone's mind who's having to deal with things like that. And so I think Ben Affleck did a good job with this. Like, at first, his character comes off a little bit dull, but it's all kind of tied to how he's supposed to be acting. And slowly throughout the movie, I got to care about him and root for him more than I expected to. I knew I liked Ben Affleck, but I didn't expect to get behind the character as much as I ended up doing. So big credit to Affleck's performance. Anna Kendrick, she's an actress I've seen a whole lot of. She did pretty good in this movie. Her and Ben Affleck's character do end up working sort of close together, sort of like a possible romance brewing between the two, and it's not at all forced. I was worried about that, but they don't force anything at all. It actually ends up being kind of charming with the way they go about it, and pretty organic, I think. And they don't really go too far. They don't really focus on it at all, so that's good. J.K. Simmons, of course, is good as well, as expected. We basically have we have Batman, Commissioner Gordon, J. Jonah Jameson, the Punisher, Shane Walsh, and the Trinity Killer all in one movie here, so that's great. But John Bernthal. John Bernthal is one of my favorite actors ever, working today or otherwise. I've loved his performance as the Punisher. His role as Shane on The Walking Dead was definitely a breakout role. And I think as far as his movie roles go, I liked him in Snitch, Fury, and a couple other things. But as far as movie roles go, I think this is probably his best to date. John Bernthal, he plays someone who ends up getting involved with Wolf, and he ends up sort of going after him and trying to stop him. But, of course, there's, spoilers in the title, so, warning again here. I'll just say it now. John Bernthal turns out to be Christian Wolf's brother that we see in the flashbacks, Braxton Wolf. And I thought that story was really well done, pretty well thought out. Of course, some people probably say, I seen that coming because we always seen he had this brother in the flashbacks. Where is he? So, yeah, he probably has to be John Bernthal's character, right? And yeah, it's not so much like that reveal as it is like when they sort of meet up with each other again, have a confrontation. The acting that comes from both Affleck and Bernthal, it's really, really good. And that bumped up the movie to another level for me when we get that scene between the two. It delivers really well. Bernthal's brilliant in the scene. Affleck holds his own as well. So I really liked how that was done, because going into the movie, I had heard like through all these articles on Facebook and stuff like how Bernthal is just like this guy going after Affleck's character. So I was like, okay, so we're gonna see the Punisher. He's gonna act tough, but Affleck will probably take him down, and that'll be that. So I appreciate that Bernthal got a more complex role and a more key role in the overall story. Again, playing into like the general result of me getting a lot more out of this movie than I expected. And like I said, the action, it's not like action packed, I would say, but when it does go down, it's really intense. The way they do shootouts, and the fight choreography is really good as well. I know Affleck had a hell of a time with his fight scenes with John Bernthal, because Bernthal hits pretty hard. But the choreography is all really good, the hand-to-hand stuff too. And the ending to the movie, it definitely leaves room for a sequel. I would love to see another movie out of this. I think it'd be really good to build the next movie like even more around Ben Affleck and John Bernthal's relationship as brothers, them reconnecting, and then maybe them working together somehow. I think that'd be cool. As well as like people still looking into and such. I think it could easily have another movie. If we're getting an Equalizer 2, if we already have a John Wick 2, we can get another damn Accountant 2, okay? But yeah, overall this is a great, great movie. I highly recommend seeing it. Just don't go into it expecting something like John Wick or anything like that. And I think you'll get a lot out of it. I think you'll really enjoy it. Like I said, I kind of forgot to upload pictures for this, but if I had to rate this movie, I'd rate it an A. I'd give it a solid A, and that's one of the higher ratings I've given to a movie for a while. But yeah, I'm really happy to have this. I'll probably buy another Blu-ray copy at some point just because I enjoyed it so much. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought about the movie, if you've seen it, and why haven't you? I wish I would have caught this one in theaters because it's probably one of my favorite movies in a while, really. So let me know what you guys thought about it. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.